Hello everyone. Today we're going to do a bridge reglue on this Ibanez PF series pack guitar. It's an inexpensive guitar, but they want to save it, so that's what we're going to do. We're doing removal with the heat lamp and some aluminum foil. I just picked this tip up from one of the guys on the forums on our Facebook group. It actually works very well, a lot faster than cutting out cardboard. A lot of guys have some good information out there for this kind of stuff. So we're just warming it up with a heat lamp here, and it's a lot of waiting here. Just basically keep it moving back and forth so you see a little bit of smoke, which is common. Then we work under with our Stumec bridge removal knife or spatula or whatever you want to call it. It's a really nice tool, and as you see, it works very well for this type of thing. Here we're doing a technique that I learned from one of the other techs here called cold clamping, where basically you take a damp paper towel, stick it up inside there with a block, and take another flat block, clamp the top, and let it set for a couple days. It gets surprisingly good results, and it's a really low risk thing to try, and it definitely helped out this thing. It helps out with belly bud, bulge, and yeah, works good. Give it a try sometime. So here we're going to clean off the bottom of that bridge. For the most part, I don't take it down too far on the belt sander because this top was kind of curved, and I don't want to completely flatten out that bridge. So back to the bench, and now we're going to do a little bit of hand sanding, get it down to where I want it. Try to keep the radius the same, and right here we're carving notches in the back of the bridge to give the epoxy something to grab onto. Yeah, we're using epoxy this time because there are some voids and cracks and fingers that are still pulled up in there, and epoxy works great for sealing up any damaged areas that otherwise you'd have to cut down into the bridge, and it just wouldn't be worth that type of operation for this kind of guitar. The bridge plate was also cracked, and this epoxy will get in there and seal up all those areas as well. So normally I would not use epoxy on a quote-unquote nice guitar, but this one definitely, it's appropriate, and it'll do a very good job. And here we're cleaning up as much as we can. Those little disposable acid brushes are great. Clean up as much as you can at first, and now we're going to clamp. I use multiple clamps instead of the single Stumec thing because you can get more control and vary your pressure if you need to. So I like them better. If you got them, use them. That's cool. And we're getting things all clamped down and clean up now. I'm using the Taylor satin guitar polish. Works great for cleaning up stuff like that. Doesn't leave residue. It won't mix with the epoxy or compromise anything, but it will always clean up your stuff when it's wet. Wise man said glue cleans up a lot easier when it's wet. But here we go. It's been overnight, and we're going to pull the clamps off and see how it came out. And we had a little bit of wood stuck from that other clamp, not a big deal. That's why I use softwood clamps. We're going to clean up the top of that anyway. And so that's what we're doing. We're just giving a little bit of a light sanding to clean up any imperfections and scratches, gouges, whatever. Here you go, inside view of what that epoxy did. See that crack? It sealed it right up. That was a little fast, but yeah, we're just drilling it out using the bridge pin reamer to clean up the holes. That's like the final step, and I just matched to the width and size of the bridge pins. And now we're gonna oil the wood with the Howard's Feed and Wax. That gets a lot of that moisture back and kind of gives it a good protective layer as well. Works great for all dark woods. It will darken light woods if they're not finished, and you wouldn't want to use it on something that was finished. So here we go, a little more of that stuff. It was very dry, and we got Elixir 11s, I believe, and cutting little notches for this where the notches were, because the epoxy filled those as well, but just use a little hand saw thing that I made there. And all right, we're stringing her up. Get this out. Here we're going to give the saddle a little bit of a light sanding to make it fit a little better. It was a little tight, so get that dialed in, get our strings on, and we're going to check where our action landed. Let's stretching everything out. Just in the truss rod there, this was a 4mm, and it needed quite a lot of cranking to get that neck back to where it should be. I don't think this guitar ever had any real maintenance done. Cutting in the nut slots, the Stumac files. Again, I don't think this thing ever had any maintenance done. Tuning it up here, it's still time-lapsed because, spoiler alert, the action's a little too high, so we're going to take the saddle down again. And we're going to have a sound test here in a little bit once we sand that saddle down a little more. The guitar actually sounded surprisingly good when it was all set up with new strings. And here, check it out. Hope you guys liked the video, and keep watching. Definitely appreciate you guys watching, and hope you subscribe. It definitely helps. Thanks.